friends, this is Dr. Shilpa Gawande. Today we'll discuss about the biopharmaceutics. In biopharmaceutics we'll discuss about one compartment open model continuous IV infusion. In the last lecture we have studied about the one compartment open model IV bolus infusion. Now if you have gone through that lecture which is for the IV bolus, you will be very easily understand this continuous IV infusion. This is very easy type of the what we can say equation which we are going to study for the IV infusion. Now generally IV infusion is administered when the drug has a potential to precipitate toxicity. When the drug it has a potential to precipitate the toxicity, or when we require to maintain the stable concentration in the blood plasma, or if the amount of the drug in the body is desired, if a fixed amount of the drug it is in the body it is desired, then in that case generally we used to administer IV infusion. And then in such situation, like the drug, for example theophylline, procainamide, antibiotics, they are administered at a constant rate, and as it is a constant rate, therefore this process it follows the zero order reaction. It follows the zero order process, that is by the IV infusion. Well, we studied in case of the IV bolus that it is a first order type of the process, but this, as we are administering it at a constant rate, so it is a zero order type of a reaction. Now what are the advantages of this zero order infusion? Now in this case, now as you can see, zero order reaction, the ease of control of rate of infusion to fit the individual patient's need. The ease of control, we can control the rate of infusion here. We can control the rate of infusion. Then it prevents fluctuating maxima and minima plasma level. It prevents fluctuating maxima and minima level, and this is very desired. For what purpose? For the drugs which are having very narrow therapeutic index. In that narrow therapeutic index, it is very necessary that it should not fluctuate the maxima and minima plasma level. So for that, this IV infusion, it is very good, what we can say, the process. Then other drugs, then electrolytes and nutrients, they can be very conveniently administered through this process simultaneously by the same infusion line in critically ill patients. When the patients are critically ill, electrolytes can be given, nutrients can be given, and other drugs also, they are very conveniently given by this process. So this IV infusion, it has these type of the advantages. Now this is the equation, or what we can say the diagram. In IV bolus we have studied that the drug, there is, as the rate of what we can say, the process it is very fast, the administration it is within 2 to 3 minutes. So rate of absorption we have studied, we have not considered the rate of absorption, but in this case drug, it is what we can say, this R0, it is the concentration of the drug, it is going to absorb in the blood and the other tissues, and this Ke, it is the elimination rate constant. So at any time drug during the infusion, the rate of change in amount of the drug in the body, the rate of change of amount of the drug in the body, that is dx upon dt. What is dx upon dt? It is the rate of change at any time, rate of change of amount of the drug in the body at any time, that is the dx by dt is equal to R0, that is the difference between the zero order rate of drug infusion. This is the zero order rate, it is taken as a what we can say R0. You can see here zero order infusion rate, that is the R0 minus Kex, that is the elimination constant into the concentration Kex. If we name this is equation 23, then by integrating and rearranging this equation, if we integrate this equation and if we rearrange this equation, we get the value, that is x is equal to R0 upon Ke. X is equal to R0 upon Ke multiplied by 1 minus E raised to minus Ket. We can see here this equation, it is mono exponential, right? But we know what we know, that x is equal to VDC, that is the volume of distribution, apparent volume of distribution multiplied by the concentration, right? So VDC. So putting the concentration C here, in terms of the concentration, if we see this equation, C is equal to R0 upon KE. You can see here R0 upon KE, and this VD will go into the denominator. So R0 upon KE VD, got it, multiplied by 1 minus E raised to minus KET. But we have equation, that is that KEVD is nothing but the total clearance. What is elimination rate constant into the apparent volume of distribution is equal to total clearance. So putting this value in this equation, R0 upon total clearance multiplied by 1 minus E raised to minus KET. So you got it up to this equation. Now if we consider the steady state, now what is steady state? When in the at start what happens when the at constant rate the infusion is given, the rate at first it is 0, then it's slightly increases, but in the starting the rate of absorption is more than the rate of elimination. Rate of absorption, it is more than the rate of elimination. The rate of absorption increases gradually, also the rate of elimination also increases gradually, but at one point, at one time, the rate of absorption is equal to rate of elimination. The rate of absorption, it is equal to the elimination, rate of elimination. That point it is called as the steady state, or that state it is known as the steady state. And here it is also called as the plateau or infusion equilibrium. It is also called as the plateau or the infusion equilibrium when rate of absorption is equal to the rate of elimination. So in that steady state, if you consider CSS as a steady state, the rate of change of amount of the drug, that is XSS, that is the rate of change of amount of drug at steady state, in the body is 0. In the body it is 0, right? Because rate of absorption is equal to rate of elimination. So 0, and there is no change in the amount of the drug. The drug, it is constantly administering. So 0 is equal to R0 minus KE into XSS, that is the concentration at the steady state. So this equation we can rewrite as KEXS is equal to R0, right? So putting the value of this writing this equation in terms of the concentration, like in the before we have written, that is CSS is equal to R0 upon KEVD, but we know that KEVD is equal to KE, that is elimination rate constant, into apparent volume of distribution is equal to total clearance. So CS is equal to R0 upon CLT, that is the total clearance. So steady state concentration is equal to infusion rate upon the clearance. So substituting this value of CSS in the equation 26, in the equation 26 we have this, in this equation we substitute this value. So we get the equation, that is C is equal to CSS multiplied by 1 minus E raised to minus KET. And if we rearrange this equation, that is CSS minus C upon CSS is equal to E raised to minus KET. And if we calculate it in the if we transfer it into the log form में अगर हम इसको transfer करते हैं, then CSS minus C upon CSS is equal to minus KET upon 2.303. So if you plot a graph, now see, if you increase the infusion rate, if a drug it is given at a more rapid infusion, a higher steady state drug concentration it is obtained, but the time to reach steady state is the same. It doesn't matter कि if we increase the concentration or if you increase the rate of infusion, the steady state, the time which is required to reach the steady state, it is equal. There is no change. There will not be the time will not reduce. It will be the same, though whatever may be the infusion rate. Now see, if we see this, if you plot the plasma drug concentration versus time, this is the time profile. See, this is the steady state. This here the infusion, it is stopped. Steady state is achieved, that is the rate of absorption, it is there equal to the rate of elimination, right? This is the R0. If you double the rate, that is 2R0 infusion rate, see there will be steady state, but to achieve the steady state, the same time it is required, right? So you can see here, and this, the slope of this plot, it is minus Ke upon 2.303. This is the plasma drug concentration versus time. Now if you plot this graph, it is a semi-log plot. So if you plot this log of CSS minus C upon CSS versus T, you will get a straight line. See, this is a straight line with a slope minus Ke upon 2.303. So steady state concentration, it is at this concentration, the rate of infusion is equal to the rate of elimination. The infusion rate R, it is fixed, while the rate of elimination steadily increases, right? Then the time to reach steady state, it is directly proportional to the half-life. Time to reach the steady state, it is directly proportional to the half-life. Generally after one half-life we get 50% of the concentration. After two half-life, 75%. Then after three half-life, so this is a, what we can say, the percentage. First half-life 50%, second half-life 24% of the drug is remained. After third half-life 12.5%, fourth half-life 6.25%. So after 7 half-life, near about, we achieve 99.218% of the steady state level concentration. So in this way we can write the equation. So for equation for this, it is C is equal to CSS 1 minus 1 by 2 into N, where N, this it represents N of the half-lives are passed, total number of the half-life which is represented by the N. So you can calculate the amount of the half-lives after which the steady state can be achieved. Now generally what happens, ki some of the drugs are there, the drug like what we can say phenobarbital, it requires 5 days to achieve the half-life, or to generally which is having a very long half-life. Some drugs are there which are having very long half-life. So like phenobarbital, it requires near about 5 days to achieve the plateau concentration or the plasma concentration, and before 5 days it is in the subtherapeutic level. If the drug, and we know that if the drug it is in the subtherapeutic level, it will not produce its effect. So we have to wait for a longer period of a time, right? We have to wait for a longer period of a time if the drugs are having very long half-life. So in that case, if the drugs are like this, in that case generally the combination of the infusion plus loading dose, means IV bolus and IV infusion both are given at the same time. Loading dose for what? For maintaining or for achieving the plasma level, to achieve the therapeutic level, and infusion to maintain the rate or to maintain the, what we can say, the concentration of the drug in the blood. So again this equation we can write here. You can see this graph. This is the loading dose and this is the start of infusion, right? So this is, if we name XOL, that is for the loading dose, XOL, loading dose is equal to CSS into VD, right? So substitution of CSS, we know that CSS is equal to R0 upon KEVD, right? So putting this value in above equation, in equation 35, we get XOL is equal to R0 upon KE. This VD will get cancelled with this VD, right? So R0 upon KE. So this C, if you write in the term of the concentration, C is equal to X0L upon VD e raised to minus ket plus r0 upon KEVD 1 minus e raised to minus ket. How this equation occurs? That is, this is taken as the concentration in this total, that is this equation XOL upon VD e raised to minus ket, it is the equation for the loading dose, and R0 upon KVD 1 minus e raised to minus kt, this is for the IV infusion. So if you add this IV bolus plus IV infusion, we get this total concentration, that is the infusion plus loading dose. So to maintain what we can say, the plasma of the drugs which are having very long half lives. So these are the examples or certain graphs. And again we can assess pharmacokinetic parameter by using this IV infusion, that is AUC, and this formula for the AUC, it is R0 T upon KEVD. Now all these parameters we can easily calculate. R0 we know, T is also we know, elimination constant, apparent volume of distribution, this is equal to R0T upon CLT, and R0 upon CLT we know that it is steady state concentration, right? So CSS multiplied by the infusion time. If you multiply the CS, if you put the value of CSS and time, we get the area under curve, and we can easily assess the pharmacokinetic parameter by using the IV infusion. So this is very important chapter from the examination point of view. Generally a long question, 10 marks question, it is always asked in the examination, and it is one compartment model, right? One compartment open model IV infusion, which is very easy for the from the examination point of view also, right? So here this in the next lecture will here we will stop, and in the next lecture we'll study about the one compartment open model with extravascular administration, which is also very important from the exam point of view, and also for the to get the information about the one compartment model. Thank you very much. If you like this video, you please do like, share with your friends, and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.